Okay, I'd much rather be here than talking to you guys, but it is what it is. I got to make a living. Okay, so my name's Ken Finnan, and my job is to get you past all the exams. And the number one question I get before I do my live, so I'm hoping to save some time and make it less chaotic, is what do I do? I'm taking the test tomorrow or 2 weeks or whatever it is. So let's, first of all, if you're taking it tomorrow, too late, you're fucked. Okay? No, I'm kidding around. Get some sleep. If you're taking it tomorrow, you should not be on my live. You should be getting sleep and you should be going over customer accounts. Literally any exam you take, literally any exam, you should probably read customer accounts. I have crash course videos you can watch, playlists you can watch. Go watch those and get some sleep. If you have a significant other, make sure they do the right thing or ask them to do the right thing. And you don't want to make them do anything, but ask them. Just massage, that's all I'm talking about. Just keep it relaxed, no fighting, stuff like that. Now, if you're taking it beyond tomorrow, so if you're taking it tomorrow, what are you doing out here? Get off here, click and get out of here. If you're taking it beyond tomorrow, so let's say you're taking it in 2 days. Tomorrow is no testing. It's adding knowledge, reading customer accounts, going over videos, hopefully my crash course videos or others. Bottom line is you don't want to stress yourself out. You don't want to take a test. I'm not a fan of testing. Some people like it. I disagree with it because if you go bad, there's no upside. If it goes bad for you, you're screwed. So I say, don't take a test tomorrow. Take it easy. Around dinner time, you're done. I don't care if you're taking the test at 5 o'clock at night. At dinner time, you're done. Okay? Don't do anything. Again, the night before is always kind of go out to dinner. Don't go, pounding, going fireballs, but just literally go out to dinner, maybe talk to people who aren't involved in it, who don't care about the test, don't want to hear it. You want to do stuff that just relax you. If you have SDC or Notman, they have these little sheets that you can go through. Maybe the day before, make sure you go over it like hot sheets or key topic stuff or crunch time facts. Again, I have crash course playlists, a whole playlist on almost every test you can take. Now, let's say you're taking it more than 2 days out. So what you want to do is within the up to, but not including the last, I don't even know if that's right. The last 8 to 10 days is testing, okay? Before that, you're reading and quizzing and testing, all that. A lot of focus on reading, mostly focus on reading, watching videos, adding knowledge. But in the last 8 days, not including the day before, so whatever that is, so 10 days before, you're going to take tests every day. One test, not two. If it's a 63 of the SIE, maybe you can take two. But again, I don't think it works so well. Oh, I feel the heat on my back. I really just want to turn around and take a dive. The problem is when I go in there, there's a manatee warning. The boats have to go around me. I have to wear a flag saying manatee, don't hit me, stuff like that. Now, up to but not including the day before the test, you are to take one final a day. Now, remember something. When you do a final, review the whole thing, not just the wrong answers. And what you're going to do is you're going to kind of do a triage. There's really 3 or 4 choices. You look them over. If you got it right for the right reason, you're good. Move on. Make sure you read the answer why, okay? 2, if you got it right for the wrong reason, mark that down. You have to review it because if you got it right because you guessed, that's just as bad as a wrong. Almost more dangerous, right? Because you think you got it. 2, if you got it wrong because you misread it, which happens with the Kaplan, Past Perfect, STC, even Achievable, all of them, you can misread it. If you get it wrong because you misread it, but you knew the concept, don't worry about it. The last one is you got it wrong because you didn't know your shit. That you have to review. So really, you're going to have 4 choices, mark them all, and then if you got it right for the right reason or wrong because you misread it, but you understand the concept, don't worry about it. The ones you have to review are the ones you got right for the right reason, and then the ones you got for the wrong reason. The ones you got for the wrong reason. See, when I talk too fast, my brain is here, my mouth is here, and they're not in conjunction. And then ones you got right for the wrong reason, like guessing, and then you got to be honest with yourself. Don't be like, oh, I think I know it. Or the ones you got wrong for the right reason. I guess the right reason to be wrong, you don't know it. If you're starting to memorize questions, buy another QBank. STCS 4 supplemental exams. If you want, buy Kaplan. But again, you don't want to add a new QBank in the last few days. You want to do it out so you can literally get used to the question because you don't want to switch it up the day before. Again, you need to go in there like a badass. You need to go into the test like I'm going to fucking own this shit and you're going to run it, okay? You got to go in there confident. You got to understand that if you go in there confident, if you go into this test as a confident badass, not cocky, confident, I know my shit, then when you see a hard question, you're going to go, oh, I can do this, okay? And you can work through it or even mark for review, shit like that. If you go in there where you're not sure and you're like, oh, I'm afraid, then every hard question is going to look to you like, see, I knew I should have waited. And that's a bad thing because you won't try it. I've seen that so many times where if you give someone positive confirmation of good work, they're willing to work a little bit harder on the question. If you're like, oh, I'm not ready, they go, oh, I knew I wasn't ready. They give up. We don't want give up. We want you to attack it like you know your shit. Okay. And that's literally it. You maybe want to watch some of my exam walkthrough videos, join my live, but not the night before. I don't want to see you the night before. I want to see you after you pass so we can play a song for you and blow it out your ass. Okay. Good. Okay. Everyone, go beat this thing. You got this. I believe in you. I 100% believe in you. And you need to say every morning, get up in the morning, brush your teeth with your offhand, even if you want to brush your teeth with your foot, and keep saying, I'm going to pass this. I'm going to pass it. Say it like 10 times with confidence. Not I need to pass it. Not I got to pass it. I'm going to pass it. That's your goal. Go beat this thing. We got it, baby. Bye. See you later. Okay. Let's get back to this.
You looked like you were just annoyed at that guy that was just speaking.
I know. He's such an asshole.
Oh.
Hold on. There we go. Okay.
There we go. All right.
Oh, look at that side by side. How are you? Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay. It's just a little high five. No, I'm kidding. So now, hope everyone's doing well. Happy Tuesday. Okay. Wrong ear. I keep fucking up the ear. Hope everyone's doing well. Happy Tuesday. April's almost done. My family's sitting. They're coming back from Italy tomorrow, which is good. He took his Colosseum tour, so now he can find other things to be obsessed about. I am literally in the babysitting. Well, my wife's doing most of it. I have the chaos baby. He's 2 and he's chaos. Like if you're, what's that commercial where the guy, I'm chaos and the insurance.
I can't stand that insurance commercial. That is the
that's
war.
What he is. He finds trouble. I'm with you. Okay. Now, a couple quick things. Okay. Happy Tuesday, as I said. Welcome on. Okay, now. Quick things to get over. A lot of good questions on here, which is good. I like that. And Grant Lock, stay on there. Grant Lockwood, stay on there. If you guys need tutoring, I'm here to help you. We're at capitaladvantagetutoring.com. It goes across, sometimes it goes across the bottom. If you need tutoring, one thing, if you just need a study group, the guy over there is pretty good. Okay. He just helps you on how to set up a study plan. And a lot of people struggle with that. A lot of people, the first time I talked to him, like, hey, can you help me out with, you can help me out with, like just how to study. And that's what he does. Like we have a guy, an older guy, he did it. He joined in, he worked with Jeff for a little bit. And now he's working with one of our tutors and he's ready to take this test. Onward and upward. So the other one is if you don't like my style, and I have 2 other tutors that are cheaper. If you don't like my style, we have another guy, Michael Weiss at Series7examtutor.com. He's really good. He runs the the Series 7 exam on Reddit. But what do I say about Reddit? Stay off of fucking Reddit. It's a cesspool of hate. Okay. Okay. And then the last thing I'm going to say here, and then we can get into this shit. I can't explain this enough. My options videos will change your fucking life. They really will. They will send you on a path into Zen-like fantasy utopia world when you take the test. You will go, I wish there were more options. I can't stress that enough, that if you join the membership for a little $24 a month, it's literally for $24 a month, you will go, I wish there were more options on the test. Now, here's the thing. If you're taking the SIE, do not do that. We deal with other memberships. We have a thing where we meet once a week for the SIE. That's $5 a month. That's nothing. Okay. And they meet on Wednesday. I have Michael do that for us, the guy who I yell to him to go fuck off half the time because he's a good guy and he can handle it. Then we have other memberships, which is like between $24. We have $34, $49, $100. All of them work well where we're getting classes. Like, this is great. This is fun, but it's not as interactive as it could be, right? So we have on Sundays, we meet at 6:30 for regular FINRA stuff, 7:30 for options. And then if you jump up to the highest level, we meet before. Like the group met before from 7 to 8, right before the live. And then I leave and they stay on and they do questions together. Like they'll be on, like they won't be on here because they'll be on for another hour working with each other. So it kind of works out. Again, that is the memberships. You join the memberships, they're super easy. If you like what I'm doing, hit a like. Maybe share this to somebody who it might help with. And let's go from there, baby. Okay, let's do this. Let me get to the top. Grant Lockwood and Travelocity. Stay on there. Grant Lockwood. That is outstanding. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Can I find a good one? Grant, that is outstanding. It's such a great feeling to get the 7 behind you. Now, I don't know what's next, whether it's 63 or the 66 or whatever it is, but the 7 is such a bitch to get past. It really is. Okay. Now, Travelocity, testing tomorrow. That's what, as D-Man said, do it all big, little, do everything Texas style, okay? Eat big, bloop big, sleep big, good luck, you got this. Okay, so now, D-Man is the best, okay? Now, be confident, maybe do a little quick review, depending what test you're taking, of customer counts. If it's a 65 or 66, do trust. If it's a 7 or the SIE, do a little review of customer counts and disclosures, and then go get some sleep and go do this and get this fucker done. Okay. Okay. Oh, hold on. I'm going to mute you for 2 seconds. Funny is that I do the voice, I don't type. I say, I'll call you when my live is over, and it goes, life is over. So he probably thinks I'm going to kill myself. That's okay. Okay. Oh, I probably just got deleted for saying the word KLL. Okay. Okay. Travelocity, tell me you're going to pass this thing. You got to tell me you're going to pass it. Okay. Nathan. Why the fuck would you be scared? Go take the fucking test, Nathan. If you're scoring 87s and it's not memorization, I would just go take this damn test. I really would. You should just go take it, get it over with. Any tips for you? Yeah, make sure make sure ethics are solid. That's the biggest thing. Make sure ethics are down pat. That's the goal. Okay. Okay. Now, can I talk about the difference? Okay. First of all, NAV versus P. Bring out the handy dandy notebook. Okay. NAV. So we have mutual funds. So when you buy a mutual fund or a closed-end fund or an ETF, there is always an NAV. An NAV. NAV. All pooled investments have net asset values. Is my microphone working okay? Okay.
Yep.
Sounds good. Okay. Good. Okay. So now.
Wow. That's good.
Now, NAV is what it's worth. That's literally what it is worth. Hold on. Oh, I don't like it that low. Hold on. Guys, stick with me. Let's all lift each other up. There we go. Okay. Oh, I can't bend it as much. Okay, there we go. I'll take that. Okay. Now, NAV. Okay. Ooh, there I'm in the center. Okay. NAV is what the fund is worth, and they calculate it at the end of the day. It doesn't really matter for anything other than the mutual fund. So mutual fund, NAV, let's say NAV plus sales charge equals POP, P-O-P, public offering price. NAV is net asset value. It's calculated. They're always calculated at the end of the day, pretty much. Go with that for the test. Okay, now, what's the max sales charge, FinMinty? Why, yes, it's 8.5%. Now, this is only for mutual funds. So if we have an NAV of 10 and a sales charge of 50 cents, what's my POP? Yes, 1050. 1050. So NAV plus sales charge equals 1050. The max sales charge is 8.5%. But here's the thing, that 8.5 is out of the POP, not the NAV. So you have to say, what's my sale? What if they said, oh, you have a 50-cent sales charge? There we go. You have a 50-cent sales charge, and you have on a $10 NAV, what's my sales charge percentage? Well, it's not out of this, it's out of this. Do 50 cents divided by 1050. So let's do that, baby. This is all testable shit. So we're going to do 50 cents divided by the POP of 1050. That gives me 4.7%. So this is not 5%, it's 4.7%. Okay? So that's the sales charge percentage. So we're fine. However, what if I said this? What if I said my NAV is 10 and my POP is 1040? What's my sales charge? Yes, guys, that's great. 40 cents. So 40-cent sales charge, and I'm going to divide that by the 1040. What the hell? 40 cents divided by 1040 is 3.8%. If they said, what's my percentage? That's 40 cents, but it's 3.8%. Okay, one last one. Here we go. This is the one that screws everyone up. What if I said I have an NAV of 10 and I have a sales charge of 4%? But you know it's out of the POP, not the NAV, kids, right? So kiddies, it's out of the POP, not the NAV. So what do? I'm going to do 10 divided by 100 minus the sales charge. So I'm going to do 10 divided by 0.96. So 10 divided by 0.96 is 1041. So my POP is 1041. That's as hard as the NAV gets you. And I have a bunch of these on my Burning Math playlist. I have a Burning Math. It's in my Series 7 Math playlist. On that video, I have a thing where I go over this. I do this so many times that it's muscle memory. I'm a big fan of muscle memory. So now that's mutual. Now, if it's an ETF or a closed-end fund, it trades where it trades because they both trade on an exchange. So they do not have to trade at the NAV. By the way, Mariak, welcome to options. You will love it. Okay, now, so both closed-end funds and ETFs trade on an exchange. So it can trade higher or lower. So literally, if the NAV is $30, the stock can trade, the ETF for the closed-end fund can trade at 29, 31, 30 and a half. It doesn't matter. And here's the thing on recognition a little bit. If you see that the offer, the price you can buy it is below the NAV, it could only be a closed-end fund or ETF. It cannot be an open-end fund. It cannot be an open-end fund because open-end fund is always NAV plus a sales charge. Now, if there's a zero sales charge, the NAV and the POP can be the same, but the POP will never be below the NAV on an open-end fund. Okay, Fin Minty, there you go. Hey, how come you weren't on? I didn't see you on Sunday night. Okay. Now, I guess I know what section you're in. Okay. And VB, yes, I can do that. Okay. So I know what section you're in. Okay. Okay. On this test, so, okay. Understand, active management means you're actually trading it during the day to find, you're trading it during the day to actually beat the market. You're trying to add what they call alpha. Alpha is talent, like alpha. Okay, so no. So alpha is talent. You're adding value. Okay. Positive alpha means you did better than expected. Negative alpha, you did worse. Okay. So that's where we go with this. So now, mutual funds, an actively managed fund, closed-end funds are actively managed. As a manager, they're trying to beat the market, to beat what's expected, the benchmark. Okay. Now, and even an active ETF is trying to beat the market. There's not, and those are ARCA funds. I don't know that they're going to test it on. I don't know they'll put on the test, but if you have Past Perfect, they're sure as hell going to ask it for you. Okay. Because Past Perfect lets you go down in rabbit holes. Like Past Perfect goes so deep that they actually fucking confuse you. If you have it, you have to kind of ratchet it down to like down to 80% of what you learn. They literally overteach you to your detriment. Okay. Kind of like if I'm learning CPR, I got to know, put my hand there, give a breath every 3 beats, and then do staying alive to beat their heart. That's what I need to know. I don't need to know where the fucking aorta is. Okay. That's what Past Perfect does. They take you down rabbit holes you don't need to go down. It's like Alice in fucking Wonderland. Okay. So am I being subtle? Okay. Now a passive ETF is not trying to beat the market. They're trying to match the market. They're benchmarking. That's what's very cool about ETFs. Like a mutual fund and a closed-end fund, you don't see all their holdings. You see like the top 5, okay? And then they can do whatever they want. ETFs, you know pretty much what every target percentage is. So at the end of every quarter, they will buy and sell the shares to bring them back to their original percentages. So if I had like, I'm not going to write it down. If I wanted a fund that's 50% GE and 50% Gillette, which is a weird one, but let's say it was, and over time GE grew faster than Gillette, it would be a higher percentage. So I'll sell the GE and buy Gillette to rebalance it. That's passive. Passive is rebalancing. It has lower fees. Anything that's active has higher fees. Now, there are some mutual funds that are more passive, like an index fund. That's really just matching what's an index. So anything that's passive has lower ongoing fees. Anything that's active has higher fees. By the way, we all know the rule, right? If I die on camera, you have to share the shit out of it. At least I can go viral is one last thing. Okay, here we go. Now, Jeff's like, wait, you're not dying. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. That's a big fucking ask. If I have time at the end, I can do it. But what I will do for you is I will find a couple of videos that you can watch that will do that. So guys, talk among yourselves. Okay. Jeff, give them a little snippet of what you do what you do in your class, in your thing. Like what are you offering? Okay.
What am I offering?
Yeah, in your is it 75 now?
Yeah.
In your $75 how to study thing, give them a little overview of what you'll do for them. Not advice, just tell them what you do.
So basically what I do is I help you come up with a study plan. Now it sounds simple, but a lot of people are working, a lot of people have families, a lot of people have other obligations, and let's face it, after a day of work, you're exhausted. So what I try to do is I try to help maximize your time, make every second that you put towards studying count. Certain things that, that I've learned over the years from studying for the exams myself, I've taken the 7, 24, 55, 63, 66. I've spoken to Ken about it, the most efficient way how to study different issues. Some people have a lack of concentration. I've had some thoughts on how to help you with that. Time management, staying accountable. These are all things that, they sound simple in concept, but sometimes you just forget. And my goal is I try to keep everybody on track. And when I speak with someone, I try to, really customize what I think, how long they should be reading for, what they should be doing on the practice quizzes, how to approach the practice exams, what it's like preparing for the week of the exam, just things like that. And even people who are taking it for the second or third time, which definitely happens, it's a decent amount of time it can happen. You can just lose track or whatever. Yeah. But, that's what we focus on. And we just try to calm the nerves for the day of the exam.
And what Jeff does is he doesn't focus on the topics at all. So literally the only thing he does is a study. So he's not distracted. It's not anything. He spends 12 hours a day studying this stuff. No, but he's done it through experience and talking to people and learning how to do this, so that it's the only thing he's worried about. He's only worried about how to study, not what's on the exam.
Exactly.
It's outstanding. Okay. Yes, now listen, for the SIE, no. You just know what they are. For the 7, you absolutely need to know what they are. Okay. So remember, a regular ETF, so let's go through this. A regular ETF, and I have videos on this. A regular ETF moves with the market, great for long-term, tax efficient, all that shit. A regular ETF, because it moves with the market, very low fees. And what do I mean by tax efficient, guys? Well, I'm glad you asked. Tax efficient means that you're not paying a lot of taxes, okay? It doesn't mean tax-free, but like an ETF, when you buy an ETF and you hold it, say you're 22 or 23, right? And you buy an ETF and you never fucking touch it. You probably pay very little, if no taxes, all the way while it's growing. And when you turn 65, 70, whenever you want to sell it, you will then pay capital gains tax, because it's a lower rate, long-term rates. So you will do better. That helps you a lot. That's what they mean by tax efficient. Not tax-free, because that's munis. tax efficient because you're not paying a lot of taxes. Common stock is a lot of that. But that's regular forward normal ETFs are good for long-term and tax efficient. Now, they also have inverse ETFs, which go the opposite. They're not good for long-term. They're for day trading. Anything other than a regular ETF is for day trading. Inverse, leverage inverse, all that stuff. And again, I have videos on this. However, if I buy a regular ETF long-term, if I buy an inverse, that means I'm going to basically, if I buy an S&P 500 inverse ETF, if the S&P goes up 10, I go down 10. If the S&P goes down 10, I go up 10. So if I buy an inverse, I'm bearish because I'm bearish on the market because I want it to go down, so it goes up. That's what that is. Now, a leverage ETF moves more. So I'm not going to go through the whole math because I have shit on this. If I buy a 2x ETF and the market goes up 10%, I will go up, guess? Yes, 20%. However, that's great. That's awesome. If the market's going up, I'm a fucking killer. However, if the market goes down 10%, I'm going down 20%, then your wife divorces you, okay? So the point is, you do leverage ETFs are for day trading, okay? They're basically a couple days at most. So you're getting more leverage, but there's more risk, and it resets every time. So there's a lot of risk here. Now that works. They also have a 3x, which is if it goes up 10%, we go 3 times. The margin requirements are different on that. You have to put more money down. Now, a leverage inverse is the same idea. If it's an inverse leverage, if the market goes up 10, I'll go down 20. If the market goes down 10, if it goes up 10, I'll go down. If it goes down 10, I'll go up 20. It goes the opposite. Okay? So a regular leverage ETF, I'm more leverage in the market. I have a lot of risk. An inverse leverage ETF, I'm bearish and doing more. So very, very risky, not for long-term holding at all. Okay. So I have a question for you. I did a video and I'm doing another one. Have you seen Avis stock? So last week I did a video on that. It's a short squeeze, okay? That 2 companies own about 50% of the stock. And then with the TSA shit, people started buying more cars, renting cars. So it's not a great company. It's a good company, a lot of debt, a lot of problems. Now, we all know what shorting stock is. And I like to use this to explain what shorting stock is. Okay. So shorting stock is when you think a stock's going to go down. You borrow the shares from Jeff. I then sell them in the market. And then I hope to buy them back for less. Works. So when I did the video on Avis stock, it was trading at $280 and it was up a lot at the time. It was actually up 175% a week ago at $280. Do you know where it closed today? $730 a share. $730 a share. And why? Because 2 investment managers own half the company. And all the shorts have to buy it to push it up. So there's a lot of upward pressure. Very similar to GameStop in a big level, but GameStop was chaotic and it's a shitty company. Okay. Avis is a good company, so there's no fundamentals to drive it to 700, but there's no stock out there, so everyone's buying it. I don't know where it's going to go. This is, again, not giving you advice. I'm saying stay away from it, but again, it's fun to watch. Oh, I think I talked about it Friday night. That's why. So actually, I think it was at 280 last week, so not even 2 weeks ago. Okay. Now, does not prepare you all for the 63. Roman, I am Roman. Okay, now, I think if you're scoring in the 70s, 80s, and you're not memorizing, you're in good shape. But make sure you're good on the ethics. Yes, Notman's good, but they a little overcomplicate shit. Okay, a little bit, not as much as Best Perfect. Okay, 70 to 82, you're solid as long as you're not memorizing. You're in good shape. I think you're safe to say you're going to be fine as long as you take your time. Take your time with the thing. Don't worry about the accepts of the Roman numerals or hardly any. And make sure you do a little quick review of ethics. Find my 63 power hour. I think it's a quick and dirty or quick and easy. Go in the 63 playlist and you'll be fine. Okay. Go Sabres. Let's go. I don't care. The Rangers are not in it. So this is the first year I think that the Devils, the Rangers, and the Islanders didn't make the playoffs. First year ever. I could add in the Jets and the Giants. Okay, now. But that's every fucking year. That's right. That's what you got to do. So Deadcraft, read the book, doing videos for review, quizzes on SDC. I love it. Now remember, if you fail one, go back and reread the chapter. Or if you barely pass, watch the video again and then move on. And then once you're done with them all, then go for the quiz. Then start doing finals. Okay. Oh, you got an intern, don't you? Okay, that's awesome.
Yes. Did you see that? I hired an intern.
That's funny.
And I was just going to post the "Am I Ready" video.
Okay, there you go. That's a good one. Okay. There we go, baby. Taos, I'm telling you, you'll love them. I had to go. Aisha, she's on one of these chats. She doesn't come on here, I don't think. But I think she was struggling with them at first. And she posted, I think she just had to get used to it and buy into it, and she's doing well. Okay. Oh, right. Okay. So you're taking the 63 right away. I love it. Did we know that? Do I have to play a song for you? Do I have to do something? Do I have to play a little? It's been a while. Okay. It's been a couple hours since I did it. Okay. Let's go with that one. Now, that looks
a little stalkerish.
I know, but you know that the real video is up high, but I don't know if I'm changing the focus. I think I'm keeping that one. That's my sexist one. Okay.
It's funny because if people on here saw the original video in the original frame, it looks completely.
I know it's totally different. This one is just like her and her whatever. Okay. I'll leave it at that. Okay. I miss you, baby. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Okay. How far back am I? Okay. I do like that now that I read a chat, it goes gray on me. Okay. So I don't have to scroll. It makes it easier to find stuff. Okay, for the 7, I just did a video too on how to pass this with like how to focus on stuff. Yeah, you got to get the options. You got to get the suitability. Look, if you do the suitability, if you do the suitability that's going to cover all the products that works, I would definitely take a lot of time on options and suitability. That's most of the test. Now remember, some of that's opening accounts and customer accounts and stuff like that. You got to make sure you're on that. Yes. You are taking the 7, not the SIE, right? Hold on. So is he saying he's taking the? So Graham, tell me if you're taking the 7 or the SIE, because I don't know if you. I'm reading that as maybe you're taking the 7. If you're taking the SIE, don't focus on options and suitability. But if you're taking the 7, then do. Okay. Okay. Look at you, man. Okay. Now, yes, I would. Here's the thing. I would, first of all, I would go check out Achievable. Let's see if I can plug it in here. If you're going to pay for it yourself, it is a great idea to do it during your summer because the SIE lasts for 4 years, so that'd be junior, senior. Yeah, then you'd have 2 years. Then you'd have it while you graduate, which is a smart move. I think that works. I think I would get it, and I'd also think about getting, if you have time after you get the SIE in the summer, get the 66. But I would wait until after your junior year because it only lasts 2 years without a sponsor, so it makes it harder. But that's one of the tests that you can take on your own. Okay, I'm trying to get the link here. There we go. If you want, here we go. Where are we? Where's Ken? Where the hell is Ken's stuff? I'll put it in the chat. Here we go. So there's a link for Achievable if you want. It's $10 off. You want to get that. That works for you guys. Okay. But yeah, if you want to buy a course, that's a good one. It's like $89. It's worth it. It covers everything. For the SIE, no one beats Achievable. Seriously, they don't. But yes, I think just wait until you finish your class, which would be what, another 2 weeks maybe. Finish that up and spend the summer studying so you have time. You don't want to hurt your GPA or anything. And yeah, it's worth it to get it now because it will last until you have a job. and it'll look good on your resume, but getting the 66 will look good too. But again, if you're going to go, if you want to get into the trading and the investment banking stuff, get the 63 instead of the 66. It'll take you like 2 weeks to study. Okay. So the professor that I'm talking to, he wants me to come out in the fall to do a couple classes. It's fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You'll have to come with me. We can do and here he is. There'll be like 30 people in the section. Smoke and mirrors and fireworks for 30 people. I remember I worked for a guy, Greco. Nice, no, not a nice guy. But whenever I did tutoring or one-on-one, he'd make me put on the microphone and the speaker. Literally for a one-on-one. So it was ridiculous. Okay. Whoa! I don't know if you're still here. There's no way you're still here after 30 minutes. But Mal, that's awesome. I fucking love it. That is outstanding. Okay. What are we going to do for you? We can't. It sounds like putting the blonde woman would not be the good idea. Okay. Oh, this one. How's that for a stalker? But that's okay, right? That's okay. I can show a guy's crotch and nobody's going to care, right? We're going to be good with
that. Wasn't even his crotch. It was like his belly button on top of hot rocks.
Let's blow that towel, man. Okay.
What?
I'm an equal opportunity offender. Okay, good. Okay.
So
I really have to re-record those into the sideways things. Okay. Because I like this better than the vertical. This is my favorite though. There we go. That's the one I really like. Or how about that? No, here we go. We'll go back to the equal. Okay, good. Okay.
More space.
There you go.
There's more of my pool in the back.
Oh, that's true. I think it's great that you have a pool here and in Florida. It's awesome. Okay.
Same exact house.
I know.
Because I don't like to. I'm very used
Nothing
to,
changes. It's just one's warm. I get it.
I get comfortable with certain things. That's it.
Okay. So John H. Oh my God. Okay. John, what the fuck do you think? Do you think you're in a good place? I think you're in a good place. You're scoring 80s on 3 different vendors. You're fine. Go rock this fucking thing. Okay. VB. Okay, you're in good shape. You're in very good shape, I think. If you're scoring 76s, you're in great shape. Watch those mutual fund videos that I put in there. Okay. How much math on the 66, Ashley? Not a ton. You'll see some. I mean, you might see like a current yield or P ratio or you might see a discounted cash flow. You might see one. But again, I have videos on that. My time value money video will help you. You might see a total return or comparing them. Or you might see like there's one that's coming up. Go find my brutal exams. There's a couple ones on there that's like it's where you have to do a tax bracket, find out what they pay. They give you the brackets and then you do it. It's not so hard once you figure it out. Okay. Real eco. Okay. Real eco. Okay. Best practice exams for the 7. STC is the best exams. STC, and if you want to buy the if you don't have STC already, just buy their supplementals. I have a link somewhere if it's in on most of my videos. Give you like 15% off. You can get them. If not, if you want to get a lot of exams, go to Kaplan. If you want to get good ones, like more of the exam, go to STC or go find my 2 brutal exams. My 2 brutal exams will absolutely give you the same vibe as the test. Okay. I will answer this, but this is this Thursday night question, or last I did Friday, but a Thursday night question. Okay. By the way, Jeff, it wasn't a horrible turnout on Friday night.
Yeah, I meant to ask you how many people.
I thought it would be on there. I think it was like 30, something like that. I'm not sure, but it was pretty good. It was much more lively than I thought it would be. I'm not moving it to Fridays, but it was better than I thought. Okay. So we're all fucking losers. We don't do anything on Friday nights. Okay. Except for you. You had plans. Okay.
By
the way, what?
I think I was like 2 tequilas deep by the time you got in halfway through the
You should have come on then.
I should have done a remote session.
Yeah, right from the bar. You know what? Or wherever you were. You would have had people the background getting on and saying shit. Okay, now here you go. So an access person is someone who has it works for an advisor, has access to client information for the most part. Yes, if If it's a mutual fund, they do not have to disclose it unless it's managed by the advisor. Your retirement plan, if it's a 401k, no. If it's a pension plan, no. But if you can control it, yes. Just like with a broker-dealer. If you can control the assets, yes, you got to disclose it. If it's a pooled investment, no, you don't have to. Okay. I think that works. Okay. And again, mutual funds, you don't have to unless the advisor, unless the investment advisor you work for is managing it. Also, treasury bonds, you don't have to disclose. Okay. When all else fails, I get it. Steve Finley, I get it. I'm actually I go with CCCCCC. Okay. Okay. Okay, here we go. I know I'm way behind. I'm catching up. I'm only 15 minutes behind. Okay. So patience, people. Patience. Okay. 2 weeks out, I want 90s. No, Graham, if you're taking, again, I think it's a 7. Listen. Yeah, I don't want you to burn out on reading either, but if you do it right way, you shouldn't probably be burnt out. Like if you do it the right way and you're just reading to read and not trying to memorize everything, you won't burn out. But if you're with 2 weeks out, if you're high 60s, low 70s, you're in really good shape. If you're above that, you're in great shape. You even could pass if you're low 60s and it's just like first time through, I'm okay. But other than that, I want to go. I would really want to see. I'd say with 2 weeks to go, I want you at least dipping. Just the tip hitting 70s. Okay, good. Okay. Slobs over bliss. Okay. I hate doing these, but I'll do it. For you, Matthew, I'll do it. Matthew Gelato. Okay, nice Irish name. Okay, now I know it's gelati, but gelato sounds better. So my grandkids in Italy, they did they got to do a pasta making class. Kind of cool. Okay. In Italy. Did I tell you he got the tour of the Colosseum? This is a 6-year-old kid who's obsessed with the Colosseum. He knows all the history, he knows all that shit. He knows what emperors were there and all that. He got to go in the Underground Tour. He got to go into the cage where they hold the animals and see claw marks on the walls. I mean, it's very
Has he watched Gladiator?
What?
Has he watched Gladiator?
Not yet. I don't think he's ready for that one yet. I would love to do it. What?
It's one of my favorite movies.
I know. I love that movie. But I guess it
Gladiator.
wouldn't scar him. I mean, I saw Blazing Saddles. I was 6. You think that scarred me? Just a little bit.
Well, it's hard to tell.
I took my 9-year-old, my 8-year-old to Inglorious Bastards. He's fine. He just graduated. Okay, good. He's great. Okay.
Are you not entertained? Or are you not entertained?
Okay. Okay. The Spaniard. Okay, now. Here we go.
The Spaniard.
So let's say you're long stock at 50.
That is really bad.
Well, it's hard. I have bad handwriting and I do this.
Look at that. Wow.
Still horrible, and I tried hard. So I'm long stock at 50. What do I want to happen? Yes, of course, kids. I want it to go up. So I would do a sell limit up here. So sell 100 at 55. So that's a sell limit. I would sell it at 55. I make a profit. Let's work it. Okay, now, but what am I afraid is going to happen? I'm afraid it's going to go down. So I would buy a put. But if I'm too fucking cheap to buy a put, I'm going to do this. I'm going to say, hey, Matt, if the stock gets down to 45, sell it for me. So I'm going to say sell 100 at 45, stop. I'm not getting into the stop limits. I don't have time. So that means that as long as the stock's above 45, nobody has it. But once it trades one time, it has to trigger, has to elect at 45, you will sell it on the next price no matter what. Now, 9 times out of 10, it'll be like $44.99. Sometimes it won't. It could be at 42, could be at 90, could be at 0. Not really 0, but it could be down. So you could be worse. But I call it stopping the bleeding. I've already lost $5. I don't want to lose any more, so I dump out of it. That's what a sell stop does. It protects you, okay? Sell at 45 stop. Once the stock trades at 45, it's going to turn on, and then I sell it on the next price no matter where it is. Now, that works. I hope that works, Matt. Okay, now let's say I'm short stock like Avis, okay? And I'm short stock, short. I'm short at 50. I want it to go down. Going down an elevator. Okay, now, short at 50. I want it to go down. So maybe what I'll do, I got to get that ring. What ring is that? Is that this one? Hold on.
What do you mean?
No, the ring. Can you see the ring?
Yeah. It's reflecting. So, yeah.
I know. That's right. It is what it is. That's right. There's nothing I can do about it. Okay. I can do that. Either way, it sucks. Okay. I need a bigger desk. Okay, now, still gonna suck. Now, no matter what we do. So now, see there, I'm short stock at 50. I want it to go down, so I'm gonna do a buy limit at 45. That means I don't need it to trade there. I am just willing to buy it there at 45. I'm willing to buy it at 45. Okay. That means I don't need it to trade there once, but if it trades at 45, I will absolutely buy it. But now, if I'm short stock, what am I afraid is going to happen? I'm absolutely afraid it's going to go up because I have to buy it at a higher price. So I'll say, listen, if it gets to 55, just buy it, Matt. So buy at 55, stop. That's a buy, stop. So once it trades at 55, it's going to trigger, and then you're going to buy it. So remember, it has to trigger. Again, the worst handwriting in the world. Buy at 55. Stop. So look, slobs over bliss. Sell limits and buy stops are above the market. Buy limits and sell stops are below. I have a really good video on it. It's a lot better and it's not rushed. Okay. The other thing is, if there's a stock dividend or a stock split, only these get adjusted. They do not. If it's a forward split or a stock dividend or any kind of dividend, these get adjusted. The slobs do not. Bliss gets adjusted. Now, if it's a reverse split, everything gets canceled because a reverse split is always a sign of a shitty company. Good. Okay. That is that. Okay. And D-Man is probably like, I can fix those lighting for you. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Again, it's awesome. I handled two things at the same time. That is outstanding. So I just did slobs over bliss, Randall. I hope you saw it. Listen, RN48, know the suitability of munis. Don't sweat it too much. You got to know the suitability of the munis. It really is the best. The suitability for munis is going to be big. Like not every little detail, not the beneficial statement. Know that you have to have it, but like who are munis good for? What is AMT? Like munis are good for what kind of people? Rich people buy munis, poor people buy corporates. If you watch my video from Tuesday night, I think I did a whole thing on it, either Tuesday or Friday. I mean the live. I think I did a whole rant on munis, on suitability. AMT is like what they do is they take your deductions away. So if you're really, really rich, you might lose some of your deductions if you buy a certain type of revenue bond, like an industrial development bond or a private placement, private activity bond, not a private placement. You might lose some of your deductions. Okay. Like normally when you buy a muni, it's tax-free, but if you make a shitload of money, they might take it away if it's a revenue. They'll never take AMT away if it's a geo or a public purpose. Public purpose means it's like for the good of the like sewer, water, shit like that. Okay. I would just make sure you know the suitability. Don't worry about the details too much, but I also would make sure I learn how to do tax equivalent yield. I have videos on that in my Mathapalooza. Tax equivalent yield, tax-free yield, stuff like that. Okay. Ashley, I don't disagree. I think it's great. For $24 a month, it's not much at all. Okay, Michelle McQuinn. Let's go, baby. We got this. We're going to nail this thing, right? We're going to nail this. Now remember, our 65, 66 stuff is, there's Graham thing, is on Thursday nights. Okay. It's amazing how I fall way behind and then I catch up. Okay. Anyone needs the link for Achievable? It's right there. You get a nice little discount. Okay. Taking the 7. Good. Okay. Yes, I think SDC has better questions then that's fine. Kaplan's great. If you have Kaplan, don't switch. But if you have a choice, I would prefer STC questions over Kaplan's. But the thing about Kaplan is they have a good performance tracker. They really do. Okay. Yes, if you go to my brutal exam videos, I do. Also, what I do sometimes is when I write tests out, I have this. When I do tests, when I'm creating exams, I use my membership people as guinea pigs for my exams. So all my membership class from the 7 and the Sunday night thing, they got like 4 or 5 exams, a suitability exam, which I'm going to post a video on at some point, but I did it there. So I let them give me feedback on the answers to make sure they're hard enough and stuff like that. So if you join the membership, you get access to some questions and stuff like that. Okay. Look at you. Look at this. So we got the 99, the 720, yes. Yeah, again, you know what? I do agree. I think sometimes remember, sometimes with even STC, you get a shitty exam and you're just like, wow, I'm in the wrong one. Okay. Okay. Catherine, that's funny. I like Catherine's thing. So, yeah, I think STC is solid. I think Achievable teaches stuff better than anyone, but I do think STC's questions and then just overall, they're pretty solid. But I love that you have the 24 too. I love it. Let's get this 66. See what Catherine wants. See, my leaning toward the sex sells, baby. Sex always sells. Okay. I'll have to make sure. The thing is, you know, the way this will record, it'll record literally the one spot she wants to see. Okay. 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 Gabrielle Victor. Okay. Okay, no, you're really solid. What you do until tomorrow? Taking it at 12:30. Tomorrow, watch my crash course playlist, okay? Make sure you go over ethics and trust and estates. You have the time, right? So go over, since it's in the morning, go over trust, estates, joint accounts, and ethics. This is for the 65, 66, okay? Okay, watch at least at the worst, watch my Power Hour 1 and 2 and the brutal exams. I promise you the brutal exams will do you a shitload of good. They really will. Okay. Boy, it's amazing how quickly I catch up. Okay. Okay. Here we go. When I took this, I had some MPV. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Platypus he had more math than most of them. But again, I think it's very easy. If you find my 65, 66 playlist, I have a couple math videos. I have a video where I go, what you need on the 65 to recognize versus know how to do, like the math formula. You won't get a shitload of math, but I do have a video called Time Value Money, which will show you how to do present value and future value. Okay. Okay. And feel free to join the membership. Okay. We meet on Mondays at 6:30 until lacrosse is over. And then we meet on Thursdays at the premier level. Okay. You want me to pass the SIE the first round? My firm goes to the past perfect. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay. I'm glad Erindy, I help Erin die, baby. I help. I would go with if you can, go with my videos, find my 2 brutal exams, but I would go maybe buy the Kaplan Q Bank or go to STC and buy their supplemental exams to help you out. I think it will help a little bit. My videos will help. But remember, whenever you're doing past perfect, if you find yourself doing really hard math, it's probably not an exam. That's the thing. Okay. I promise you that with past perfect, they're good. They go too deep. So if you find yourself doing like crazy math, like it looks like a physics spreadsheet, you're probably wrong. Okay. The math is always easy. As I tell everyone, there's always an easy path. Okay. Always remember, there's an easy path out of everything. I always think there's an easy way to do anything, and I go, I'm going to find that easy way. Okay. 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 I think the crash course playlist is good. Okay. Oh my God. Wow. That's crazy. Look at that. 21 and has the SIE 7 and 66 all done. That's pretty fucking impressive. Like what last week we had a guy who was 19 who got the 7 done. I don't know if he got the 66 done. Okay. That's pretty awesome, man. Graham, you're going to follow in their footsteps. That's outstanding. Okay. I should move all my shit down that way. Okay, here we go. Okay. Oh, that's awesome, Graham. I love it. You're gonna nail it. You will absolutely. How do you like it so far? Okay. And guys, by the way, if you're gonna join, don't join on your phone. Apple adds 30%. Just do it on your laptop or desktop. Okay. 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 Yes. Shoot you. I can. Callable means, so look, let me do it this way. If I issue a bond, or even if I buy a mortgage, it's sort of the same idea. I have to pay an interest rate I have to pay money every year, every 6 months, right? So, or every month if it's a mortgage. But if I have a bond, say I have $1 million, $1 million of I issued a 5% bond. It's not a very big bond issue, okay? So now that means I'm paying out $50,000 a year in interest. But what if rates drop to 3? I'm still paying 50 grand. I don't want to pay 50 grand anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to issue a new bond at 3% for $1 million. And I'm going to take that money and pay your ass off. I'm going to pay that bond off. That's what it means to call it. Call it is when rates drop, they're going to call the bond back and buy it from you. And sometimes they miss, right? So a callable bond means that it can be called. And most bonds have a call date. Like the first 10 years of a bond, it's not callable, okay? So the first 10 years, it wouldn't be callable. And then after that, we can call it at like what they call call premium, which is the amount above par. Like it'll say, oh, it's callable at 105. And after 15 years, it's callable at 103, which means if I call it from you, which means I'm taking it from you. Also, remember, if I call the bond, you can't say no. It is literally, I'm taking it from you, okay? You can sell the bond, but you can't say no. I'm going to take it from you. That's what call means. And the first 10 years is usually non-callable. After that, I can call it based on a price. I can always buy them in the market as an issuer. I can buy them in the market. I can do a tender offer and say, hey, I want to buy the bonds. But unless it's callable, I can't actually take it from you. But again, calling means you're taking it from you. Okay. 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 That's fine, Lexi Elise. Okay. You're good. Hope you reread the book. We're going to get this. Remember, you always remember something. You always want to be solid, and you want to make sure. Where the hell is it? Just keep in mind, I love that you're not going to quit.
What? Over? Did you say over? Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no!
German? Forget it, he's rolling.
It ain't over now. Because when the going gets tough, the tough get going.
That's you, Lexi, baby. You're gonna nail this thing on the 11th. I love it. I'm so. By the way, I do this for my own entertainment. If you guys don't like it, you can go fuck yourself. But I do it for myself. Makes me laugh. Okay. Ashley, we got this, baby. I love it. You're going to nail this thing. Be confident. Go in like a savage. And remember, we do the, Ashley, remember, so we do the Series 65, 66 on Thursday night. So if you have specific questions, bring them in. Love it. Okay. Okay. Okay, Sue. Okay. A couple. Make sure you do the FINRA one. Okay. 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 Do the FINRA one as a free one. Notman has a free one. I don't yet, but I will soon. But right now, I would use those two. I think you're in good shape. Does anyone else have free ones? No, I have some. If you go onto my if you go into my channel and go to the free practice exams, the first 5 are me taking exams online. So you can almost like take it yourself, press pause when you see it, answer it yourself, and then see how I answer it. That's a good way. And those are free. Then you'll get an STC one, 2 Achievable, a Notman, and then mine that looks like the exam. Okay. Okay. Good. Love it. I love it, love it, love it. Okay. Never be in a room with a 17-year-old. Me 18 too, but the rule is never being alone in the room with a 17-year-old. Now, just so you understand what that means, so we have it, okay? If you have a 17-year-old walks in the room, wants to open an account, the answer is no. Because they have to be 18. They can't open it. You can't even open a joint account with their parents. The answer is no. If they're 17, you can do an upma or ugma, but again, by that time it's too late. Also, guys, if you guys want to join something where it's a nice group, a great fucking community, where everyone's super supportive, look at the shit crawling across the bottom. FINRA and FINRA and NASA Exam Test Prep Network. That's on Facebook. It's about, it's 8,700 people. I looked on the thing, 5,100 active users. That means there's 5,100 people on there helping each other out, starting chats, starting study groups, answering questions. It's really good, and it's free. You just have to answer like 3 questions because I got to keep the scammers out. Okay, good stuff. Okay, and this way it's private so that your shit isn't public for everyone to fucking read. Okay, here we go. Who's the best part of the 63? I like achievable. No, that's perfect. Nathan, if you have that, I love it. Achievable teaches it better than anyone else. They have that spaced repetition, and then Cap and QBank has some solidly hard questions. I like that. It's very good. Okay. Oh, yeah. I think everyone seems to think the free stuff. I totally fucking forgot. Thank you for that. Achievable started this about 3 months ago. They have free practice exams for all the exams on their website. I should know that. They're really hard. If you can pass those, they're really, really hard. If you can pass those, you're in good shape. Again, if you can pass those, you're in good shape. I'm taking the achievement without any study. I made a 38. Okay. I love it. Okay. Sue, I think that's great. That's awesome. Use the achievable. Hey, Matthew, welcome on. You're gonna love it. Okay.
I explained everything to Erica.
Is that you?
Yeah, the ringing.
No, I hear somebody talking.
Really? That's my son all the way downstairs.
Are you really? That's crazy. You have some
insane.
That's awesome. That's some great. That's awesome for me.
Earbuds, yeah.
That's funny. Okay. You got it. You're moving up. So keep going, man. Keep going. The practice powers and study book. Well, I hope you're not stealing from Achievable. I would feel bad. They're really good guys. And I again, if you get one from a library or something like that, that's fine. But like Achievable, I kind of like them. Okay. 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 Now, I think it's harder than the 6. Definitely. I mean, it's not as hard as a 24, but a lot of it is. I haven't done videos on it yet. But a lot of it is like your rep shoes up and how you're going to handle it. No math. So yeah, it's hard. And a lot of these questions on the principal exams, use STC. If you're going to take any principal exam, please use STC. They're the best at it by far. Like Notman's the best at the 79. STC is the best at the principal stuff. Again, Kaplan's fine on the regular stuff. They're not good on the principal stuff. But I use STC, follow their stuff. They have a crunch time facts things which will help you a lot. And you're gonna be fine. Just know it is a hard test. Okay. You got to start applying like crazy. So look at. I know Fidelity's hiring like crazy. I know Schwab is. Start applying to those. I know that you can get with the wealth managers like Morgan Stanley, UBS, but UBS has that wealth advice center. I keep forgetting what it's called. UBS has a good one, wealth training center, something like that. Wealth management, something like that. They Schwab, Fidelity, UBS, they're still hiring like crazy. Okay. So start looking at that and see if you can get in before you graduate, maybe get an internship. That's always the best. Talk to your professor, see if you have any connections. But get that SIE, and then if you want to get into the trading end, get the 63. If you want to get into the wealth management stuff where there's a lot of people hiring, I would think about getting the 66. But don't get it too early. You want to get it closer to like after your junior years, but it doesn't run out. Because it only lasts 2 years. The SIE lasts 4, so you're good. But the other ones only last 2 years. Okay. 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 Oh, yeah, yeah. No, I know. It's all crazy shit. It's all stuff. A lot of people don't do most of their stuff. A lot of people don't do their a lot of the stuff on the exam doesn't show up in their real life. Okay. 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 People, yeah, I agree. So, yes, fuck the Fed, baby. Yeah, I love it. All that shit. Okay, it's definitely gonna help. That's a big one. You can pass the SIE probably with my videos, but don't do it. It's dumb. It's dumb. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Oh, that's fine. Okay, that's funny. That's fine. I'm okay with that. We're good. Okay. Okay, Samantha, baby. Oh my God, you're ready. So you're scoring high 70s, Sam. I'm gonna go to Sam anyway because I'm lazy. Saman Bros. Okay. 62, then 71. You're good. And if you're passing everything right now, if you're high 70s on Kaplan, you should be in good shape. Do you see that I sent you a chat?
Yeah, I'm checking.
I don't know if you saw it. Okay. You're in great shape. So what you should do, today's Tuesday. Okay. Okay, got it. So third attempt, you're going to do it. I would spend, if you're taking it, which one is it? Okay. So I assume it's the SIE, right? So I would make sure you go over investment risks, and I would go over what the register up can and can't do. That's so big. Make sure you have that down. Okay, good. Guys, if you guys, I'm going to jump off in a few minutes. If you guys have questions, remember, so Jeff is nice enough to stay on after and talk to you about how to study, not the products, how to study. If you guys have questions specifically on studying, he'll stay on if you have questions on that, on how to study, not the products. Like this, I'm going to talk about this, but he can even add to it, okay? You want to make sure you get this stuff down, do tests, but I wouldn't do any on Thursday. I mean, you can if you want, but I wouldn't do any on Thursday. You know what they look like. Do some practice ones. Do my videos. Go my crash course. But make sure you go down with the register reps. Also, start getting a good night's sleep. Tonight, go to bed at a normal time. So if anyone has questions about studying, start dropping them in the chat. Because Jeff is nice enough to hang on later. No, Mo, don't worry about that. I have so many people that were poli-sci, art fucking history, which is my daughter did. Now she runs a hedge fund. No, it doesn't matter. So don't worry about that shit, okay? You're good, okay? Don't worry about that. Just get the licenses. And then if you go for Fidelity, Schwab, UBS, they're not going to care. Yeah. Are you going to get in an analyst class? Probably not. But it's worth a shot because there's BTIG, UBS, RBC, Goldman, Morgan Stanley, Merrill Lynch, Bank of America. It's the same kind of thing. Not Credit Suisse anymore. All these companies do analyst class. Maybe depending on where you are, you can apply and get in. Always throw your shit out there. And a lot of them aren't finance majors. So a lot of people do finance, and that's great. But there's a lot of people who don't. They enjoy their college life, and then they get a job as an analyst too. It's great. Okay. But the more licenses you get before you start, the better your resume looks. Okay. Okay. Here we go. That's the first one. I am going to head out of here. And Jeff can handle Brian Hendrickson from Hendrickson Motors.
Let's see.
Hey, did you see Michael Jordan? Did he win again? I think one of his cars won. Do you follow NASCAR, or are you just a car guy?
I'm just a car guy, but I know that he's very big and his team is strong in NASCAR.
Teams or something like that. Okay.
I don't know.
Boom. Sue, go head out later. If you want to handle Brian, Jeff, it was good seeing you. I'm not teaching much tomorrow. I'm doing a lot of driving. If you're free, I'll try to call you to go over the thing I sent you.
Yep, that sounds good.
Okay. Stay awake, everyone. Good seeing you all. I'm going to head out, and Jeff is going to take good care of you like a baby in swaddling clothes. Okay, everyone? You all have a good night. See you later. Adios.
All right, let's take a look here. Let's dive in. Studying for the Series 7 using SEC quiz. I also bought Kaplan to use the QBank. And I'm going to go through all the questions. Good strategy, 100%. I think STC is great for reading. I like their questions. I think their questions, although none of the study guides, like, you know, all the different study guides are going to be exactly what the exam is going to be. SCC is a good, good indication of what the exam is going to be like. The Q bank is a great complement to STC. So when you take a practice exam on STC and you want to hone in or kind of tighten up on a particular topic, options, bonds, whatever it may be, do a 20 or 25 question Q bank off of Kaplan. It's usually a little bit harder. There's good variations in difficulties. Make sure that when you do a Q bank practice test or quiz, do it on one topic so that you do get different variations of difficulty on that topic. So yes, I think STC is a great book for both reading and the practice exams, and Kaplan is a perfect complement to practicing on those days that you may not be taking an exam or you're trying to brush up. Remember, in addition, use the videos online from like either the SIE or the Series 7 playlist. Those are also a great way of breaking up the monotony of just reading the book. So hope that helped a little bit there, but I think it's perfect. It's a great plan. Thanks for answering all my questions. Okay, what's this? Let's see. We have about 11 days to prepare. Is that enough time? If you can, throw in how many hours a day. Typically what I say is for preparation for the exam, you want to study for 4 to 6 weeks. That looks like reading the book, doing the chapter quizzes, and then the practice exams. That's going with roughly 2 to 3 hours a day. If you have more, you can then condense it a little bit. I can tell you that 11 days. So if you think about it, if you take a practice exam and that takes you, let's say 2.5 to 3 hours. And then the next day you review that exam, because remember, you want to review it as much, if not spending more time reviewing it than actually taking the exam. So if you're studying for 2 to 3 hours a day, you're going to probably end up breaking that up a little bit. So if you do exam one day, review the next, rinse and repeat. So then you can get multiple exams in a week with the proper review that you need to do. So for 11 days, so you're probably looking at, 5 or 6 exams with 5 or 6 days of review. So that's a lot of studying. That's a lot of questions answering. It's a lot of reviewing. Remember, when you review those questions, whether you get the question right or wrong, you're going to review the answers. It is very important to read those explanations. It lets you know if you got the question right, obviously, but it also, you want to make sure that you are thinking like the people that are asking the questions. You want to make sure that your thought process is in line with their explanations, so that if they change the question from which is, which isn't, max loss, max gain, the different rules, you want to make sure that you are prepared no matter what or how they ask the question. So is 11 days enough? If you can definitely get in a lot of testing and practicing before that exam. So yes, but it does depend on your time. I wouldn't rush it. And I'll also say that the difference, I tell people this all the time, if you're getting, you're 4 or 5 weeks in and you thought you were going to take the test, if you think you need another week, take the week. It can make a huge difference if if you want a little bit more. Don't stretch, don't keep putting it off. But if you think you need a couple more days, bump the exam out to get those couple of days of studying in. I think it makes a really big difference. But like I said, your question is really based on how much time you have. Oh, I see this right here. We have all day to study. you can definitely get it. You can definitely do it. If you've read the book, all the chapters straight through, and you're scoring 75 to 80% on the chapter quizzes, go take the practice exams. Go right into them. Start taking, maybe the exam in the morning, review in the afternoon. Maybe throw in a couple to break it up. Maybe throw in a couple of videos. If you have Q banks, question banks, do a couple of those if you want to kind of break it up a little bit. But that is, you can definitely do that by doing exam review, and you can definitely get it done. Make sure though that on all topics you're scoring 75s to 80s. You don't want to just be scoring 80% on options and 20% on bonds, because you don't know what you're going to pull the day of the exam. That is the big thing to pay attention to. I'd rather see you get 75 to 80% on all topics than to just get 90s on one and 30s on another. So just keep that in mind. It's usually a really good indication if you're prepared to take the exam. Let's see. I'm one of those burnout cases. There are so many videos about it. I work long hours, tried studying before and afterward, keep failing persistent. Got discouraged. Here, let me give you a video that you can look up here. Hang on a second. This is it's a focus video that I did, and it teaches you how to break it up into shorter pieces. Let's see, focus video. I think this is a really good, basically the concept is 20 minutes of studying, 10-minute break. Do that 4 times. You studied for 80 minutes and you manage to break it up without burning yourself out. Understandable. You're working long hours. There's a lot going on in everyone's lives. Everybody's life is different. But really don't get discouraged. This is not something that you just pick up overnight. There's the real world and then there's the exam world. It's, these are concepts you may not have seen before, terminology, about different areas of the business that you may not have been exposed to, but keep going. Break it up into smaller pieces. Remember, it's read the book, chapter quizzes, practice exams. And if you're struggling with a particular area, you can go back to that particular chapter 8.6 or 14.5. You can look it up that way. You can go to the Series 7 or SIE playlist and look at just that topic. Ken basically has every single topic covered that you can watch in a shorter video. But break it up a little bit. Don't be hard on yourself. Start with a baseline. Take your first 2 tests. And even if you get 45s and 50s, and then 2 or 3 tests later, you're getting, 65s, it's an improvement, and it's a big improvement. And you just have to keep carrying on that momentum. Figure out the point at which you start to get burned out and stop before then. Don't just put the hours in for the sake of saying, I put in 3 hours. If you lose concentration after 30 minutes, get a cup of coffee, go for a walk the dog if you do that, but break it up. Don't hammer yourself into just burnout. Also, I tell people the week of the exam, have a good plan ready. Say I want to take 2 or 3 practice exams the week of the week that you're taking the exam, but don't overdo it, because so many people miss passing by a couple points because they're just exhausted from studying. So you kind of want to do your heavy lifting, your heavy studying early on in the process, and then glide into the exam with a plan like that. So hopefully that'll help a little bit. Watch that focus video I just showed, but definitely break it up. And you know what? If some days, you come home and you're exhausted, watch a couple of videos, do a question bank, and then next day, take a practice exam. It's fine. It's just getting the quality studying in, more so than saying you read something exhausted for 3 hours. So let's take a look at the next question. Took a 1 week break and now reading the SEC by doing the videos at my own pace. Great. Do you have any advice to avoid burnout like my first go around? Yep. So remember when you're reading the book, read, don't say you want to read 3 chapters a day or 3 chapters a night or whatever it may be. Some chapters are longer, like the options chapters. Some chapters you can do 2 or 3 chapters in a day, but the options part of it might take you 2 or 3 days to read through that. But you want to focus on reading the book in roughly a 2-week period. So yes, pace yourself, do what's comfortable for you. Don't ask people how long did it take you to read the book? What do you think? Am I doing the right thing? Do what's comfortable for you. Everybody's different. I'll tell you, Ken is a fantastic test taker. Myself, I have to study just like everyone else, read the book. Some days I absorb it better than others. And the same thing with the practice quizzes and exams. Sometimes you score a good exam, but you want to just make sure that you're trending in the right direction. You want to get to that 75 to 80%. And avoid the burnout, like you were saying. Think back to, why did you burn out? Were you cramming too much at the end? Were you studying, for 3 hours when you were spent after 2 hours? You always have the weekends. You can always stretch, your time a little bit there of doing that, like, 30 minutes of work, 15-minute break. You can break it up that way also. You can be a little creative with the way that you're studying. So, keep that in mind and do what's comfortable for you. If you take notes, some people like doing that. Some people like highlighting. I personally like just reading so that when I go and take the practice exams, I can be nimble, flexible, and I'm not worried about the notes that I took. It's kind of like you want it to become a natural thought process as you approach the exam. So let's go on to the next question. Getting ready to schedule my 7. All my tests have been low 80s. Okay, great. To a green light. Perfect. You're going to score lower on the green light tests. They're hard. 73, that dropped my you should not lose confidence over that. That is right in line. You took your test, you got in the low 80s. Perfect. It sounds like you're not really memorizing answers. The green light exam, you probably had a little anxiety going right into it, and you still managed to get the grade, right around even if it was a 72 or a 75, you're right there. So I would say let's see, I'm getting ready to schedule. You're probably ready to take the exam. Like I said, the week of the exam, do a couple of practice exams. Keep yourself rested, eat, don't pull all-nighters or go crazy with a lot of questions. Just review certain topics. You can watch a couple of videos. You might even take Can You Pass This Brutal Exam that Ken has. It's another great way of testing to try something a little bit different, but it sounds to me like you're on the right track. So just maintain that momentum, keep everything fresh in your mind, review customer accounts like Ken always says. What the breakdown is of the exam. They give you the rough numbers. You can't hold exactly to that, but where options are going to be tested in bonds, things of that nature. So you want to be well versed in those particular topics, but you sound like you're right on track. Let's go to the next one here. SIE Thursday morning, scoring mid 80s to low 90s. Fantastic. Very nervous. Understandable. Just remember, this is the SIE. You're taking the SIE because this is the field that you want to go into. This is the career you want to start. And you're taking this test for yourself. So don't be nervous. be excited to take the test, especially if you're scoring, in the mid 80s to low 90s on Kaplan. If you're scoring 80s to 90s on Kaplan, that's really, really good. Just as long as you're not, I always just say it is like a little warning. Just make sure you're not memorizing answers. That's the only thing. If you're doing that, you're good to go. And let's see here. Does the subscription also have a class for the 63? Yes, it does. So if you'll see it right there on the memberships here. I'll even just throw the membership link in here one more time, just so that you have it. And let's see, memberships. There we go. And you can go on there. Let's see. Does the subscription also have a class for the Series? Yes, it does. There's the memberships. So what I will leave everybody with this: studying, pace yourself with the studying. I try to simplify it. It's reading the book. Do the chapter quizzes after you get done reading. Score 75 to 80%. If you don't score 75 to 80%, go back to that question in the chapter. You can do like a control F, control find, and see. You don't need to reread the entire chapter. Read the part that you got a little, caught up on. If you feel comfortable after that and it makes sense, move on. Keep the momentum going. Momentum is very important. Not rushing, but keeping a good steady momentum. And then when you take the practice exams, after you take your first two, take a look, look at those scores. If you score in the 70s, fantastic. If you score a little bit lower, that you've got options to go back and review. You've got the videos. You can go back into the individual chapters. When you're reading the explanations, if they make sense after you got them wrong, that's part of the learning process. It is absolutely fine. If you understand it, your scores will pick up. And just keep that momentum going. And I think that's the end. So we will be back on Thursday night for the NASA exams. And good luck to everyone, and hope everyone has a good evening.